Let's start by talking about the interface of Grasshopper. First off, I'm going to show you how we can open our recent files or how you can create new ones. Here, if you go to the File tab, we have some options to access the recent files, or directly when we open Grasshopper, we will be given some 9 tabs. The green one shows my previous files. The red ones are also my previous files, but they no longer exist in my laptop, so they're in the red color. Here I open some previous documents of mine, and if you go to the help section, we are going to be able to access some tutorials given by Grasshopper. This can be also useful. If you go to the tab on the right hand side, we can switch documents. If you are using multiple documents at the same time, this can be useful to know. In my document in here, the thing that I draw is far from the seaplane. But still, it's possible for me to manage everything because the tutorial given by Grasshopper works on the seaplane. If I select everything in the tutorial, I can be able to zoom in Rhino. And here we can see the tutorial given by Grasshopper. If I go back to my file, I'm going to show you some things about the interface first. So if I go this file tab, I can just access, this is important, the autosave files. If I go to the special folders, I can access the autosaves. If I go to these Grasshopper settings from the File tab, I can change the interface. I can change the font of these commands. I prefer to use something simple like this, or I can change, for example, the blue ones are previewed ones, and the dark ones are hidden ones, and they're also enabled ones. We can see it differentiated from the color. We can customize it. Here I actually did it. I made it blue. The blue ones are previewed ones. Actually, enabling is something different than this, which I'm going to show you soon. On the display tab, we can also change the preview of a command. And we can just use icons, or we can also use full names of the inputs and outputs, or we can use full names for everything. It can be useful for you if you are just starting Grasshopper, because knowing the full names is actually useful, but I prefer to keep it this way because it doesn't take so much space when I'm scripting. If I go to the other file that I just opened, which is a tutorial one, I have some options in here to copy and paste on the document that I'm working on actually. So if I go to the edit tab, I can have some options to paste in place, or I can just directly use Ctrl+C and V, which is also the same thing. This is the file that I copied and pasted. I can delete it, and we are seeing that it doesn't exist anymore. But if I go back to this original file, I can still be able to see it in Rhino. So let's go back to the file that I opened. I can see if I select my output, I can zoom in and out in Grasshopper. This shows here again that this is far from the seaplane, and it can be important to know if you are working on complicated projects. So I'm going to show you some settings or parameters given by Grasshopper. So these are some parameters. For example, there are points, there are lines. This is open to discovery. There are math sections. There are domains to construct, or there are maths, for example, addition, multiplication of the numbers that we are using right now. This can be important in the projects that are complicated, which we are going to see later on in our upcoming sections. So just to show you one of the examples, If I select the list item component, I can see that I'm working with multiple surfaces. This item is just to list one of them. If I select everything, I can just click on the scroll of the mouse. I can see my options for previewing or enabling or anything else. This is open to discovery again. On the other hand, I'm going to be showing you here that we have options to bake as well. But if I bake it, it will be the component of Rhino. It won't be a component of Grasshopper anymore. So if I want to delete what I baked, I need to use Rhino. But I can delete it by Ctrl Z. But if I do Ctrl Z on Grasshopper, it will take it back only the comments that I just did, but it won't take it back from Rhino. It was already baked in there. So this is something important to know as well.